Hello and welcome to our 5th week of our posture strength training class. And so if you are continuing on getting through these sequences a couple times a week, and here you are at the 5th week, I just gotta say, great job. You must be feeling some strength, I hope, but also that's really good commitment, and it's hard work. It's not an easy sequence when you may come from different skill sets. Anyways, I just got back from Radium Hot Springs from the last several days. It's so nice up there. It's so great to be in the mountains. I'm glad to be home though at the same time. It's only 5 o'clock in the evening, but we are losing our light so fast this time of year, mid-November. But I'm filming this on November 11th, and so I just want to take a moment to acknowledge everyone who has fought for our democracy in World War One, World War Two. I'm in Canada, so those are our big ones. But any of those soldiers in World War One and World War Two, all of my grandparents played a role in World War Two to some degree, especially. One of my grandfathers, my Scottish granddad, he was in the Middle East, and I can't remember exactly his job. I'm sure he told me lots of times. He's my doppelganger, so I know what I'm gonna look like when I'm old, which isn't a bad thing. I could go for that. Both my mom's parents, they didn't go overseas, but they were absolutely in the Canadian Armed Forces, probably getting ready to if they had to, but luckily they didn't have to. And then I know my Scottish granny, I know she played a role. I really got to get to the bottom of that and find out what they did. Sadly, she died when I was 13, so I didn't get a ton of stories, and none of my grandparents lived close by. Anyways, I don't know why I'm going on this digression, but I just want to acknowledge, because it is November 11th, and here in Canada we call that Remembrance Day, and so it is a great day to think about the people who fought for our freedoms, and it's worth remembering. Especially these days, we realize just how fragile the homeostasis of our world is, and we're always overcorrecting in one direction or the other, I guess, but hopefully we can find ourselves back to a safe balance where everybody in the world has the right to some dignity and safety. And but no matter who you are, for whether you are on the gender spectrum or the sexual orientation spectrum, neurospectral, man, woman, any race, I don't know, anything under that, we all deserve happiness, and we all deserve dignity. And so I'm going to dedicate our strength class to that today. Okay. So anyways, we are going to be doing bird dogs, and we're gonna actually be upping the ante again. We're gonna do 2 full bird dogs on each side, so there will be 4 in total. We're also, what else? We're going to be, I think everything else is about the same, but I think it's still going to be challenging. So good luck. I mean, you guys are going to rock it, so I shouldn't say good luck. You're going to do awesome, and we're going to move forward with that mindset. Okay? So without further ado, I'll ask you to kindly get yourself to the mat. I'm just going to use my tripod system is a little Scotch tape taped to a big old coffee mug. But it worked great. It's low tech and it's free, with a bit of Lego attached to it too. Anyways, whatever. Okay, so please lay down. I'm going to talk us through our body scan, and then we will breathe, and then get ready. Okay. So I'm assuming by now you're laying there. So go ahead and sense the gravity holding you there on your mat. I just think gravity is one of those things right now that we can count on. So you're unlikely to fall off of your mat. So you can surrender your muscles. If there's any muscles that you are subconsciously tensing up or holding tense, try as best as you can to let them go. Allow that surrender to the gravity. Oh, trust me, we're going to be working, so take this surrender while we can, hey? Soften your face and close your eyes. And don't worry about how fast or slow you're breathing. We're gonna shape our breath after this. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and bring our awareness into the pelvic region. Now, those two little hip bones on the front side, I like to call them the hip headlights. Try to sense them. They're on the front, one on each side. Try to sense those hip bones. Moving now to the inside of the pelvis and sensing the inside of the pelvis. And then the glutes. Good. Coming to our pubic bone, we have to isolate that a lot in our class because it is one of the attachment points of the rectus abdominis muscle, and we're working on that a lot. So connect with that pubic bone. Now start to follow from the pubic bone, moving upwards, nice and slowly. Sensing your abdominal muscles, and then coming to the base of the ribs. Now sense everything in between that pubic bone to the base of the ribs, sensing the abdominal muscles, but also sensing any digestion or gurgling or movement in your organs, in your intestines. Coming back to that base of the ribs, which is part of that upper attachment for the rectus abdominis muscle. Go ahead now and try to sense the whole rib cage, both sides, the front, the sides, the back, the ones at the top and the ones at the bottom, the whole rib cage. Gosh, that rib cage is protecting your heart and your lungs. As you breathe, you probably feel movement in the ribs. Let's come now to the middle coming to the front side at the chest bone where the ribs meet. It's known as the chest bone, the sternum, the breastbone. Sensing the chest bone as if your life depended on it. And moving downwards, all the way to the bottom of that chest bone. And sensing that little dangly piece, that bony piece at the very bottom of your sternum. That's called the xiphoid process. It's part of the attachment point of that rectus abdominis muscle. And nobody likes having that xiphoid process touched. It's very sensitive, feels very fragile. Sense it with all your focus as if your life depended on it. Moving back way upwards along the sternum, towards the top. The upper part of that sternum is called the manubrium. And then at the very top, you've got your little sternal notch there. Try to sense the manubrium and that sternal notch, the very top parts of that chest bone. Moving outwards from that top of the chest bone, that sternal notch manubrium, and sensing the part of the collarbones that are closest to the sternum, the chest bone. Following along the collarbones to the tops of the shoulders. So those collarbones have two joints on each side. The part that attaches from the sternum to the collarbone, and then the collarbone to what we call the acromion, tops of the shoulders. Sensing the sternum, collarbone attachment, follow it along. Sensing the collarbone to the acromion, the tops of the shoulders. From the tops of the shoulders, move downwards on your back and sense your shoulder blades. Those triangular bones. The bottom corners of your shoulder blades at the lowest part. The upper two towards the top and the middle. They trace them out and sense them as if our lives depended on it. And now from those shoulder blades, meet in the middle, in between them, sensing that thoracic region of our spine. Sense that thoracic region of the spine, the shoulder blades, tops of our shoulders, the collarbones, chest bone, rib cage, xiphoid process even, the abdominal area, the organs, to the pelvis, all at the same time. Really connect into our bodies. Take us out of our minds and into our bodies. We're also sending a signal to our body. We're coordinating our connection to our bodies so that we are letting them know we're going to be working. Okay, good. All right, let's come to our breath. I'm going to get down and join. All right, your hands, palms up by your sides. Just non-judgmentally observe what your breath is like. What are we working with? Is it short and choppy or long or smooth, deep or shallow? Our breathing tends to run on autopilot. That's the autonomic nervous system. It makes sure we keep breathing. But we're going to just shift that off of autopilot, switch it to manual, and we're going to just shape it here. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that count going in your head as if your life depended on it. And when you catch yourself down a rabbit hole, just bring yourself back, even if you have to do it a million times. That's okay. It's happening to me too. Cool air enters the nostrils to the back of the mouth, runs down the windpipe, into our chest cavity, the spine, shoulder blades, chest bone, upper ribs, the lower ribs, the lobes of the lungs, and into the belly. As we exhale, the belly eases, lungs, ribs, chest, shoulders all relax. Warm air runs up the windpipe to the back of the mouth and out the nostrils. Your inhales to 5, exhales to 5 with nice smooth transitions from inhale to exhale. One of the people who comes to one of my regular classes, her name is Robin, and she coined this, she called it the Infinity 5. Oh, I love that. This is the Infinity 5 because it just keeps going. Let's take 10 of the very best breaths here. Perfect. Okay, good. Keep breathing. We might not always be able to count them out or make sure we're breathing super deep, but always breathe through the whole thing. I don't want you to hold your breath at all, okay? And sensation is good, pain is not good, okay? Let's bend our knees, feet come onto the mat below the hips. Make sure that back of the neck is long. Push your low back into the floor. Bring your knees to your chest or your chin to your chest. Your first self-hug. Rocking in some circles. Massage that low back into the floor. Good. Okay. And I mean, it's worth saying that if you're hugging yourself, you should tell yourself you love yourself. Because Lord knows we tell ourselves a lot of crappy things on the daily. So tell yourself something nice. Tell yourself you love yourself. All right, feet come back down to the mat below the hips. Oh, we got work to do now, okay? It's gotta go now. All right, let's push that low back into the floor. Pull that pubic bone up, base the ribs down, flexing that stomach. Tuck that tailbone forward and up. Good. Base the ribs, pubic bone, flexing the stomach. Tuck that tailbone forward and up. Keep holding that there. Flexing that stomach, base the ribs, pubic bone. Tucking that tailbone forward and up. Continuing to breathe. Let's lift up our head and neck and shoulders. Retract those shoulder blades into the spine. Keep tensing up your stomach, flexing the stomach. Back of the neck stays long. We're pulling our chin back, using the muscle underneath of our thyroid cartilage, that longus colli. Good, and lowering. Keep that tension in the stomach. Good, flexing that stomach, base ribs, pubic bone. Bring yourself up. Retract those shoulder blades, shoulders, neck, head, back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked, retracting those shoulder blades, holding a pencil in between your shoulder blades, base ribs, pubic bone, flexing your stomach, breathing, and lowering down. Good. Hands by our sides, palms down again. Bring those hips right up. Your feet are hip width apart, knees hip width apart, stacked above the heels. Go ahead and squeeze those bums. I mean, one bum each, I'm assuming. Squeeze your bum, pull your knees down into your heels into the floor. Pull those knees downwards, squeezing the bum. We're using our glutes. We need our glutes strong. Glutes, glutes, glutes. Good. Pull those knees downwards. The function of the glutes is to retract that thigh bone back, and it's to extend the back. But we're working on the femur bones, the thigh bones. Pull those knees down and peel the spine back down. Good. Push that low back into the floor, knees to chest, chin to chest. Rocking. Tell yourself you love yourself. And feet come back down to the mat below the hips, hands by our sides, palms down. Good. Pull that base of ribs and pubic bone towards each other, flexing the stomach, where that pubic bone and base of ribs, they're gonna hold a little conference in our belly button. Good. Flexing the stomach, tuck that tailbone forward and up. Lift up the head, neck, and shoulders. Retract the shoulder blades, back of the neck long, chin tucked into that thyroid cartilage. Good. Base ribs, pubic bone, flexing the stomach, retracting those shoulder blades, lowering back down. Keep that tension in your stomach. Keep flexing the stomach, base ribs, pubic bone. Bring yourself back up. Retract those shoulder blades, back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked, flexing the stomach, base of ribs, pubic bone, tucking that tailbone and lowering back down. Good. All right. Let's drive those hips back up. Flexing the glutes. Squeeze the bum. Make sure that those heels are stacked below the knees. And pull those knees down into the heels into the floor. Squeezing our bums. Keep those knees hip width apart. We don't want to splay them open. All right, pull those knees down into the heels into the floor. Good. Pull that right knee down even more, flexing that right glute. Pull that left knee down even more, using that left glute. Both knees, both glutes. Good. Peel yourself down. Good. All right, low back into the floor, knees to chest, chin to chest. We're halfway now. Good. All right, feet come back down to the mat below the hips, hands by our sides, palms down. Back of the neck is long, chin slightly tucked. Push that low back into the floor. Base of ribs, pubic bone, flex your stomach. Flexing that stomach, tucking that tailbone forward and up. Good. Base ribs, pubic bone, conference at the belly button. Flexing that stomach, lifting up your head, neck, and shoulders. Retract those shoulder blades. Back of the neck long, chin tucked, base through ribs, pubic bone, flexing, flexing, flexing. Good. Keep holding that tension. Keep flexing the stomach as you lower your upper body back down, and then bring it back up again. Base of the ribs, pubic bone, flexing that stomach. Retract those shoulder blades, back of the neck long, chin tucked. Good. Keep that tension in your stomach as you lower yourself back down. Great work. Hands by our sides, palms down. Good. Let's lift our hips up. Good. Squeeze those glutes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Don't drop your money. Keep your money in your bum cheeks. Well, not literally, it's an expression, okay? But don't let anybody take your money. Hold on to that money. A little tug of war there. Pull those knees down into the heels, heels into the floor. That right knee pulls down into the heel. That left knee pulls down into the heel. Both knees pulling into the heels, heels into the floor, squeezing our glutes. Good, and let's peel our spine, our spine back down. Good. All right, push that low back into the floor, knees to chest, chin to chest. We are 75% of the way through this part. That's good. Because it's nice to get onto some other things anyways, right? But we gotta do one more. Let's bring our feet back down to the mat, below the hips. Hands by our sides, palms down, back of the neck long. Good. Okay, push that low back into the floor. Base of ribs, pubic bone, flexing your stomach, tucking that tailbone forward and up. Flex that stomach, flex that stomach. Good. Base of ribs, pubic bone, pulling that pubic bone up, pulling that base ribs down, meeting up in the belly button. Tuck that tailbone forward and up. Let's lift up our head, neck, and shoulders. Retract the shoulder blades. Keep the tension in your stomach, back in the long, chin tucked. Keep flexing your stomach. Keep pulling that pubic bone up, that base of ribs down. Keep holding the tension in there, lowering your spine, or lowering your upper body back down. And keep that tension and come on back up. Base of ribs, pubic bone, flexing our stomach. Retract those shoulder blades, back of the neck long, chin tucked. Good. All right, and keep that tension as we lower ourselves back down. Hands by our sides, palms down. You can relax your stomach now. However, we're not on a break. Let's bring those hips up. Squeeze those glutes. Good. Hold on to your money. Squeeze those glutes. Pull that right knee down. Pull that left knee down. Squeeze those glutes. Flexing those glutes. Pulling those knees into the heels. Heels into the floor. Keep pulling them in. Heels into the floor. Squeezing those glutes. Flexing our glutes. Strengthening our glutes. Good. And let's peel ourselves back down. Awesome. All right. Let's push that low back into the floor. Knees to chest, chin to chest. Rocking in circles. Nice self-love here. Nice big hug. All right. Let's go ahead. Lengthen our feet to the bottom of the mat. Rolling onto the right side of our body. I like a block underneath of my head. You do you, I guess. Right hand in front, palm facing down. Left hand, I like it on the floor, right in front of my rib cage. Let's make sure we're in between two panes of glass here. Good. All right, we are gonna be using our external obliques and our abs. Before we go in, we're slowly bringing up to 5, holding for 10, slowly drawing back down for 5. And we're gonna do 3 sets on both sides, okay? I'll talk us through. And don't remember, and we'll remember that this is our diagnostic. We're gonna be poking to make sure we're using the muscles, okay? So we're in between two panes of glass, yup. Okay, let's engage the abdominal wall. Pubic bone, base ribs, flexing the stomach. Good. All right. Now, to the count of 5, drawing yourself up. Good. Holding it for 10. Poke. Make sure Your external obliques, flexing that stomach, base ribs, pubic bone, flexing that stomach. Good. Awesome. Keep holding it. And slowly to the count of 5, lowering back down. Good. Slowly to the count of 5, coming back up. All right. Keep flexing your stomach. Keep flexing your stomach. Base of the ribs, pubic bone, side obliques. Yep, we got it going. All right. Keep breathing. All right. Slowly to the count of 5, lowering down. Keep flexing your stomach. Good. And make sure our stomachs are engaged. Good. And let's draw ourselves back up. Good. Holding it there. Good. Let's poke and make sure, yes, stomach is engaged. Base ribs, pubic bone, external obliques. Yep. Good. And slowly lowering down to the count of 5 in a controlled way. Don't give up the muscles yet. All right. You can relax. And let's switch sides. Okay. All right. Left hand reaches out in front, palm down. I like my right hand right in front of my rib cage there. Let's make sure we're in between 2 panes of glass. Yes. All right. Base of the ribs, pubic bone, flexing that stomach. Good. Once you've got that there, we're going to bring the feet and knees up to the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Keep flexing that stomach. Poke. Make sure we're using, yes, we're probably all starting to feel our abs now popping out a little bit more than they used to. Keep breathing. Keep flexing that stomach. And slowly to the count of 5, lowering back down. Don't let go of your stomach. Good. Redirect yourself in between these reps if you need to reset it. We can't climb the mountain if our base camp's not built, as my mother always says that. So right now, rebuild your base camp. Okay, let's climb the mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding it there. Keep flexing your stomach. Poke. Make sure. Yes. My external obliques as well. Good. All right. Slowly lowering. Oh, no. Hold it up there. Keep flexing the stomach. And slowly lowering back down to 5. Yeah. Good. Rebuild your base camp. Base ribs, pubic bone. Flexing that stomach. Good. Let's slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it up there. Base ribs, pubic bone. Make sure your stomach is engaged. External obliques. I'm sure it's starting to feel like it's on fire. Almost there. And slowly to the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep flexing the stomach and relax. Good job. All right, let's come on up to seated. And we're going to sit up on our block. We've got our external rotation. I don't know what else to call them, so I just call them external rotations. That's how it looks on my piece of paper in front of me. So there we go. All right, we are going to be doing 3 sets with 5 open and closes. I will talk us through that. All right, let's first make sure we're using our abdominals. Then we're retracting our shoulder blades in and down, back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked, and we're breathing. All right, we've set up our base camp. We're ready to climb that mountain, grab that bar. Okay, retracting that bar in and down. Retract those shoulder blades into the spine. Your abs still engaged. Back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked, breathing, retracting those shoulder blades. If you've got the strength in all the right places, pop open the hands. Good. Keep retracting those shoulder blades. Keep engaging the abs. Inhale, open. Keep those elbows super glued to the sides. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Keep engaging those muscles. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Abs engaged. Exhale, close. Back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more, back to the neck long, chin slightly tucked. Abs engaged, inhale, open. Exhale, close. Good, let's put that bar back. Abs engaged, back to the neck long, chin slightly tucked. Exhale, retract the shoulder blades, pull the shoulder blades in and down, pop open the hands, abs, back to the neck long, chin slightly tucked, breathing. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Abs engaged, upper back engaged. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. I lost count. I think we did 4. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Good. Keep the abs back of the neck long. Chin slightly tucked. Put that bar back. Grab that bar one more time. Retract your shoulder blades. Abs engaged. Back of the neck long. Chin slightly tucked. Breathing. Pop open the hands. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Abs engaged. Inhale, open. Upper back engaged. Back of the neck long. Chin slightly tucked. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. One more time. Back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked. Exhale, close. Good. Keep that tension. Put that bar back. Let the bar go. All right, you can relax. Shoulder shimmies in some circles. Good job. Little break time here. Awesome. Okay, let's find our table pose. All right, good. I got these shorts at the thrift store, and they're quite roomy and weird to feel while I'm wearing, but boy, I move really great in them, so you might be seeing them again. All right, those knees hip width apart, stacked right below your hips. Your hands shoulder width apart, stacked below the shoulders. Bend those knees, bend those elbows, lowering your body, back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked. We're not collapsing our abs because we want our nice flat back, okay? Good. Okay, so base ribs, pubic bone, bends in the elbows, back of the neck is long, chin slightly tucked. Good. Let's make sure we've got a nice secure spot with that left hand. Nice big bend in that left elbow. Let's reach that right hand forward. The elbow is and bicep is by the ear, but we're pulling that shoulder blade down our back, lengthening out that left leg to the back of the room. Left glute, right shoulder blade. Engage your abdominal wall. Back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked, breathing. Holding it there. Base of ribs, pubic bone, flexing, breathing. Right shoulder blade muscles, left glute. Keep holding that left knee up from the left glute. Good. Base ribs, pubic bone, breathing, and slowly lowering back down. Don't let things go until you're firmly planted. Good. All right. Secure that right hand in its place. Nice big bend in that right elbow. Reach that left hand forward. Left bicep by the ear, but we're drawing that shoulder blade down our back. Back of the neck is long, chin tucked, breathing, abs engaged. We're pulling that right foot back. Okay, that's the right glute, left shoulder blade muscles, base of ribs, pubic bone, back of the neck long, chin tucked, breathing, holding that position. Base of ribs, pubic bone, flexing that stomach, right glute, left shoulder blade, back of the neck long, chin tucked, breathing. Good. Keep your base camp built. We're gonna lower our limbs, and then you can relax to some degree, tucking our toes under downward dog. Good. All right, we're pushing our hips to the back of the room, relaxing your head, relax the back of the legs, breathing. Good. Let's walk ourselves to our standing forward fold. Good. Feet hip width apart. Soft bends in those knees. You're using your toes, the balls of your feet, the arches, and the heels, all the parts of your feet. Relax your spine. And it's okay if you have soft bends in your knees, because most of us are working with that. All right, big macro bend in those knees. Let's find our chair pose. We don't want to just stick out our caboose, so base ribs, pubic bone. Feel your pelvis tilt, pulling the base ribs downwards. Back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked, breathing, retract your shoulder blades. You were using thigh muscles generating heat. Base ribs, pubic bone, flexing the stomach, retracting the shoulder blades. Back of the neck long, chin tucked, and folding back forward. Good. Let's walk ourselves back to our downward dog. Pushing those hips back. All right, let's come on to table. And engage your abdominal wall. Let's do a reverse push-up, lowering ourselves down. Good. Forehead to the floor, cactus arms. Let's go ahead. Retract those shoulder blades and pull them down your back. Good. Back of the neck long. And relax. Retract those shoulder blades, pull them down your back. And relax. Good. Retract those shoulder blades, pull them down your back. Good. Push into your hands, coming into your cobra. Back of the neck stays long, chin tucked. You're looking at the mat pretty much below you. Keep retracting those shoulder blades. This is, as you've heard me say before, an upper back strengthener. Keep pulling those shoulder blades in. Good. Breathing, back of the neck stays long. Good. Slowly lowering yourself back down. Good. Okay. Let's, with 20% of our strength, push that right hand, right elbow into the floor from the right pec muscle, that right chest muscle. Good. And relax. 20% of the strength, left hand, left elbow, into the floor from that left pec. Good. I do that just so that we can remind ourselves of what the pecs are. Let's put our hands under our shoulders, retract the shoulder blades, engage the abdominal wall, base ribs, pubic bone. Good. We're going to do a push up here into table. Coming back to our tables, widen those knees, toes together, child's pose. Awesome. Oh, that feels good. Let's walk our hands and body off to the left. And back to the center. And over to the right. And back to the center. Okay, let's draw ourselves back up to our tables. All right, we have one more round of these. Oh, we got a few things left to do, but We can do them. I believe in us, okay? So those knees hip width apart. Okay, we building our base camp before we climb the mountain. Thank you, Mom. Hands shoulder width apart, soft bends in the elbows. Lower your body down. Back of the neck is long, chin slightly tucked. Good. All right. Secure that left hand in its place. Big bend in that left elbow. Let's reach that right hand forward and pull that shoulder blade down the back. Good. Holding that up there. Let's bring that left leg back. Okay, we're holding that left knee up from that left glute. Now, right shoulder blades, left glute. Engage your abdominal wall, base ribs, pubic bone, flexing your stomach. Back of the neck stays long, chin slightly tucked. The left knee is being held up by that left glute. That right shoulder blade retracted and pulled down the back. Back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked. Abs, 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 abs. Base ribs, pubic bone, abs. All right, and lowering back down. Good. Okay. Awesome. Reset. Good. Okay, secure that right hand in its place. Nice big bend in that right elbow. Let's reach that left hand forward. Pull that left shoulder blade down the back. Right leg goes back. That right glute holding up that right knee. Engage your abdominal wall, base ribs, pubic bone, flexing the stomach. Back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked. Breathing. Good, keep that bend in that right elbow. Left shoulder blade muscle, right glute, abs, back of the neck long, chin slightly tucked. Breathing. Abs, abs, abs. Abs. Abs, abs, abs. Right glute, left shoulder blade muscle. And slowly lowering back down. Good. All right. Tuck those toes under. Lift those knees up. Push your hips to the back. Relax your head. Relax the back of your legs. Breathing. Okay, let's go ahead and walk ourselves to our standing forward fold. If you're wondering why I come off of my mat, it's because I don't want my head to get chopped off when I do chair pose. So you don't have to do that. I'm just doing that. Back of the neck long. Relaxing your legs, using all the parts of your feet. Spine dangling. All right, break time over. Big macro bend in those knees. Find your chair pose. Biceps by your ears. Base ribs, pubic bone, flexing that stomach. Use your thigh muscles. Lots of heat in those thighs. Flexing the stomach. Retract those shoulder blades. Back and down. Chin tucked. Breathing. Thigh muscles. Abs. Shoulder blade muscles. Back of the neck long. Thyroid cartilage muscle. Well, it's underneath of the cartilage. It's the longest coli. All right, and folding back forward. All right, let's walk ourselves back to our downward dog. Pushing those hips to the back. Relax your head. Relax the back of the legs. And coming down to our tables. Okay, engage your abdominal wall. We're going to do a reverse push up down into our tables. Good. Cactus arms, forehead to the floor. All right, we're getting ready for our locust. So let's go ahead. Back of the neck stays long. Go ahead and lift your head up so you're looking directly below you. Find that muscle underneath of the thyroid cartilage, that longest coli. It's holding your head up. Making sure it's not those two side muscles, it's under the thyroid cartilage. The Adam's apple. Good, slowly lowering your head back down. Okay. Retract those shoulder blades into the spine, down your back, lifting elbows and hands equal heights up off the floor. Breathing. Shoulder blade muscles in our 90-degree angles. And lowering back down nice and slowly. We don't just go like, oh, collapse. No, we control those movements. All right, base ribs, pubic bone, flex that stomach. Feet and knees come up off the floor. Use your glutes to hold up those feet and knees. Abs engaged. Don't let go of those abs. Base of the ribs, pubic bone. Flexing your stomach. Almost there. And slowly lowering down. Good, relax. Let's bring our left cheek to the floor. And then that right cheek. All right, forehead back to the floor. We got to do this now. All right, retract those shoulder blades in and down. Engage your abdominal wall. Base ribs, pubic bone. Feet and knees, elbows and hands, and your head. Base ribs, pubic bone, flexing your stomach. Retracting those shoulder blades, back of the neck stays long. Chin tucked. Abs, abs, abs. Your glutes are holding up those knees. Shoulder blade muscles. Front of that neck. Good. Flexing, breathing. Breathing. Take the bend out of the elbows. Nice wide arms. Good. Keep feeling like you're using the muscles in between the shoulder blades. Don't forget your abs. Back of the neck long, chin tucked. Draw those hands by your sides. Pinch those shoulder blades in and down your back. Abs, abs, abs. Good. Back of the neck long, chin tucked. Breathing. Bring them back wide. Cactus arms. And slowly draw yourself back down. Good. All right. Hands under the shoulders. Retract those shoulder blades. Abs engaged. Push ourselves up to our tables. Widen those knees. Toes together, child's pose. Let's walk our hands and body off to the left. Walk ourselves back to the center. Walk our hands and body off to the right. Good. Walk our hands and body back to the front, back to the child's pose. All right, let's bring ourselves back up to table. All right, down to our seats with our legs out in front. How are we doing for time? Oh yeah, we got lots of time. I try to keep these videos about 1 hour, but I was like really gabbing it out at the beginning. All right, point those toes towards your nose. Okay, engage the abdominal wall. Base ribs, pubic bone. We want as tall a spine as possible. Retract those shoulder blades, hands come up. Keep those shoulder blades in between. In between the shoulder blades, you're holding a pencil. Back of the neck long, chin tucked. Okay, you're gonna wanna lean back onto your sacrum and leaning back. Keep shoulder blades, base ribs, pubic bone, flexing the stomach. If your head starts to jut forward, then you're going too far. Only go as far as you can go with this like line from the top of your head to that tailbone. Retract those shoulder blades, abs, 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 base ribs, pubic bone, front of the neck. This is called, well, I think in yoga it's boat pose, but I think someone called it lazy boy once. I'm like, yeah, okay, great, but there's nothing lazy about it. All right, let's come on back up. Good job. All right, let's come down onto our backs. Okay, let's bend those knees, feet on the mat, below the hips. Push that low back into the floor, knees to chest and chin to chest. Rocking in circles. Final self-hug of our time together. You guys did so great. I mean, like, think about what you're doing here. You're trying to make it so that you're out of pain. And you're doing the hard work that helps us so that when we're sitting at the computer or we're cooking in the kitchen or driving our cars or sitting there on our phone or watching TV or even out for a walk, we've got the right muscles strong. The right muscles. Also the left ones. Sorry, joke. Okay, feet come back down to the mat below the hips. Let's go ahead, extend those legs to the bottom of the mat. Hands by our sides, palms up. Okay, on Remembrance Day here in Canada, November 11th, we always try to take 1 minute of silence to remember those who fought for our rights to be able to have a nice life and live with integrity. Well, we're going to take 5 of those minutes. So let's not shortchange anything. Close your eyes, soften your face. Don't shortchange yourself from your Shavasana. Your body needs it. And it's a rebellious act. It's rebellious because we're defying the gravity to busy ourselves. We're existing in time and space. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now so we can actually have those moments of silence. And even if you drift away, I will bring us all back in 5 minutes. And then we'll say goodbye. right. Let's add movement to the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, elbows and knees, and your head. Let's roll to the right side of the body. Okay. Go ahead, push into that left hand and right hand. Come up to seated. Nice long spine. Back of the neck is long. Left hand to our heart and our right hand on our left hand. May we understand the strength of our own self. Namaste. All right, guys, great work. You're rocking it. By now you're probably ready for some dinner. So have a nice evening, and I'll see you next week.